Hey girls, it's Bree.
It's Cece.
It's Angela.
And you're tuned into
For the Girls.
We have another juicy topic and story
It
for
gets
y'all.
juicy.
Ooh, it's going to get real. But before we jump in, I'm going to read the review of the week. So, Nikayla, and this is in response to how do you find like-minded women / friendships that are aligned with who you are. Nikayla says, I loved this episode so much. I watch and listen to your podcast faithfully. Your advice as married women is so helpful. Currently single and dating someone special. Okay. And find your podcast is so helpful navigating on this new journey with my guy. Thanks, ladies. You're welcome, girl.
I am sprinkling all the love juice on that one. Yeah.
Sprinkling also all the married juice.
Yes, all
and,
the vibes.
and the big diamond ring juice.
All the vibes.
I wish that for you, girl.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for writing in. And y'all, if you're listening, please, like, if you can go to the podcast and give us 5 stars, give a review. It's super helpful and it'll make Dre very happy. Now we're going to throw it over to Angela. Let's see what our scenario is for today.
What does the black clipboard have, you guys? Y'all, okay, I'm going to need you to follow along. Everyone follow along. I'm going to do my best. But this one has some deets. It had some deets. So let's get into it. All right. She wants to be anonymous. To start, let me just say, I adore you ladies. I listen in consistently, and I really appreciate the mature, honest, and thoughtfulness that you ladies project to your audience. I love seeing intentional and teachable content being put out by women my age, finally. I don't have many friends, so I don't get to talk about things like this with anyone. I'm usually pretty private, so I'm so happy I found you ladies. Oh, okay. Where do I start? I guess I'll just throw it out there. I'm dating an ex's brother, like seriously dating. To my defense, I'm from a pretty small town. There's not a lot of options. I know this may be a poor excuse on my behalf, but I fell in love twice. I'll start off with a small background on the first guy I was dating. We can call him Carl. I had just got out of an 8-year relationship that I was in from high school when I met Carl. Carl is not someone that I typically would be interested in, but I think that may have been why I was attracted to him. To sum it up, me and Carl's situationship lasted a good 2 years. We've seen each other basically every night, and it was mainly physical. I met his mom, his brother, who I'm currently dating, his brother's kids, the whole damn family, honestly. Carl was a huge player, very popular. He ended up having a baby on me, throwing off my pH balance. What, girl? And messing with too many women to keep count. Fast forward 3 years later, I met his brother on a more personal level. We can call him Brian. In an attempt to hook him up with my friend, me and Brian really hit it off. He came to hang out with my friend and I at a lounge, but she ended up leaving and me and him just stayed and talked. We had an amazing conversation and now here I am in a relationship with him. Brian is the complete opposite of Carl. Smooth, ladies man, suit and tie type. Always found him attractive, but never thought we would be here. I just want some advice on if I'm wasting my time. I'm going on 31, no kids, and I really want to start the next chapter of my life. I'm very intentional with the security of my future. Me and Brian have been exclusively in a relationship going on 3 years. There's definitely been some ups and downs and some insecurities on my end that's warranted because I dated his brother. Anyone would think, why is this man doing this? In the beginning, the first few months before it became serious, we both agreed that we would see where it goes, but we both kind of knew it wasn't going too far because of the dynamic. We didn't spend a day without talking to each other, and when it was a day we didn't see or talk to one another, it was when he told me that he had slept with someone else. This was within the first 2 months of us talking. I continued to date him mainly because he was just very honest with me, told me he apologized and that he realized how much he cared for me and how he was scared at the thought of losing me. Since then, there has been a few other things that didn't sit well with me. Crazy ex that wouldn't give up, crazy baby mama drama, court cases. His family won't accept me, and in 3 years with Brian, we have never taken a trip or had a meaningful experience besides the typical lunch and dinner dates.
What?
However, he takes multiple guys' trips.
Whoa.
He's been around my family so much. My family accepts him, treats him like a son because of the love they have for me. My parents do not agree with us being together, but they support me. His family will not, and I'm unable to go to the holidays with him or any family gathering. Yet I have met his children, but that was just within the last year. It's just a lot that comes with this, and I've really been broken down the most in this relationship because of how tough it is. Because he's very smooth and attractive, there are a lot of women after them. He says he loves me to death, and I honestly believe him. I love him too. But can love get us through? Is there real longevity in this? Can there be marriage even though I dated his brother? I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you for your time. Can't wait to hear your thoughts.
Ooh, girl.
Woo! We got some layers to peel here. This poor Dre was a great call. We got a reference. We got to go back.
I love that she gave names to reference, like because it makes it
you always
easier to
ask
talk
for
about.
details. And child, she gave us 2 pages worth. So I'm here for it, sis. We're gonna try to help you out, but Lord,
Well, I think I can start because I have a family that they do a lot of dating within the family. Okay, we're not going to get into that dynamic. All I will say is that's not the craziest thing I've ever heard.
We love your family.
Yes, we love them. So, I think the first thing that I want to say is you can't help who you fall in love with, and you can't help when and how you meet people. And what I mean by that is it sounds like if you had the opportunity to have met both of these men at the same time, that Brian would have been the choice, like that he would have been the person that you would have been with. So I can understand how in a small town, if you're dating somebody, it goes sour and you have this genuine connection with someone that was not intended, that it would make sense to explore. The issue that I have is when the family dynamic is a little screwed up like that, and it's very upfront and open in terms of the family not being like understanding and receptive of it, that as a man, Brian would need to kind of at least have an idea of what his intention is with you, because there's one thing to date and fool around and see what happens. It's another thing to get married. And how can you get married into a family that's not accepting you? And, for him to not make certain choices that make you not be looked at in that certain light after 3 years, for me would be a little concerning. But I can understand the dynamic, and I'm sure that even he didn't intend for it to get this far. So in terms of family dynamics, I think it depends, like in terms of if it could like work or not, would depend on the individuals, like the maturity level of the brother who you're no longer with, and then the brother who you are moving forward with, and the family as a whole. I have a family where certain situations like that do not work, and every time they're in the same room, it is chaos and it doesn't work and it's drama and it's crazy and people don't like each other and it's a whole thing. But then we have a dynamic where, it works out just fine. And because everyone has accepted it, it just is what it is. So I think it has a lot to do with the individuals involved. And it sounds like from this situation that the family dynamic is not going to work because the individuals involved are not mature enough or handling it in a way where they actually care about the two people who are choosing to be together now. So that's my take on the family dynamic situation.
Okay.
This is
so Bree, obviously, she has a little bit more understanding of how that could work.
I mean, Angela might be on the same page with this one. Like, on the other hand, no, I'm just joking.
Wow. Okay. So the closest I feel like I can get to this is a while ago, my sister had talked to this guy who ended up hitting me up, and then nothing happened to him and my little sister, like nothing. And then I was in that like kind of hoe phase, and he's like starting to get at me. And I asked my sister, I was like, I mean, do you mind if I waste my time with him? And she was like, no, but it's not going nowhere. And she was right. I should have just listened to her. But I mean, in the back of my mind the whole time was, ew, you wanted my sister. So like that was my thought. Like I could never, and he wanted to go the next stage with me. And I could not. Like I'm sorry. I was in that phase of, I just wanted some attention from a person, and he was cool, and he was giving me that attention. But in the back of my mind the whole time was, ew, you dated my sister. So I personally don't see how that works. Yeah. How you know this guy. Yeah. Me and my sister came from like, this is disgusting. Like, this is my first thought process. Me and my sister came from the same uterus, right? So the guy, ew.
Yeah. So for me, I don't have this dynamic in my family, thank God. But I have been the person who's dated two friends. Or like who's like been involved.
But I've heard of that.
That's very different.
I know, right? I mean, that
two different families.
I'm trying to relate.
You're trying. We're trying. I think it's hard for us to relate because we're like, that's like a hard no.
It is, but I will say like so hear me out. So even just like in like my situation where I was talking to one friend and then we didn't work out, and I started talking to his friend, and then that didn't work out either. But the reason why it didn't work out is because I think that the other friend like kind of already had this idea of me in his head, and it's like he only wanted to be with me probably because of what he heard from his friends, so he wanted to experience it for himself. But he knew, but like I feel like for him, he knew where it would, like how far it would go, and it wasn't very far, right? So for me, if I were to put myself in Brian's shoes, it would be a little hard for me personally to not think about, oh, my girl used to fuck my brother.
You know, that's where I was with this one guy I was talking to.
And then now think about how the family feels about that. Like think about like Brian and Carl's mom. Like, oh, this girl has like been with both of my sons, and you know, like how am I supposed to accept that or respect that? Like that dynamic can be a little bit difficult for a family to accept and to understand if that's a new dynamic for them that they're encountering. So I was
gonna say that's a good question that we have here. Can you move forward in a relationship with the lack of acceptance within a family?
Well, you know, we've talked about this in another episode as well, and it's very difficult.
You can do it. It can happen.
Difficult. It is very difficult. I think that kind of comes down to, what does Brian want his dynamic to be with his family? How close is Brian with his brother? How close is Brian with his family? And is he being an advocate for him and his lady to be together, right? Like is he fighting for them to his family? Like, is he like, no, this is my woman, I see myself being with her long term?
That's how I see it. That's how I see it's the only way working. The Bryans in the situation, the Bryans are the ones who have to make it work. And it already sounds like there's some.
And it's been 3 years.
Yeah, it already sounds like there's some inconsistencies with Brian. And we should probably, I mean, do you guys want to get into that?
We can address those real quick.
Let's talk about the vacations that he'll go on with his boys, but not his girl.
Okay, yeah, this is a huge. Hold on, where is it at?
Oh, yeah, we need a red flag. That's a red flag. That's a red flag, sis. Yeah.
And you know
3 years.
3 years?
3 years.
And you guys have never been on a vacation?
And it seems like they have the means to make that happen because...
well, Brian certainly does because he's going with his boys.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So he's making the actual intentional choice of choosing his boys over her. Where is my red flag? God damn it. And that is just, that's
especially when it sounds like our girl here, she's 31, she's ready to go to the next level.
She is. She said it. She said it.
So she's thinking about, you know, things differently. And if your man isn't thinking about things in the same manner as you guys are not equally yoked, and you guys are off balance.
Yeah.
Like if he's not putting you as a priority before his boys at this stage, when you guys have been in together for 3 years, it's giving red flag, sis.
Yeah, because I think it's even like take away the layer of the brother stuff, because that's a layer in itself. That's a difficult layer to overcome. But I mean, obviously it can happen. You know what I'm saying? You've seen it happen. It can happen. But that's a very difficult layer. Add on the layer of the inconsistencies. He's cheated on her once. I mean, she accepted him back.
Now,
I do like that he was honest and that it was very early on.
Very early.
That's
it
why
was 2 months in.
Right.
You
So
know,
I
that would
understand
have
that.
tugged at my heartstrings. I'd have been like, okay, you honest. You told me what was
Right.
really
No,
on.
I mean,
you
honestly-
cheated, but you told me.
But
I probably would have been the same way.
okay, yes, all right. That we can. All right, I'll check that one off. But the vacation not happening. That's one. 2. The crazy baby mama drama.
And the ex.
Well,
it sounds like there's two
I
for the
will
woman.
say, if you have your ex and your baby mama still fighting over you, you must be a pretty good man. You must be pretty decent.
She
at
said
least.
she
still
said
be
that
fucking
twice.
them.
He's
I
a suit
mean-
and tie guy. He's smooth. All the girls want him.
Yeah, all I'm saying is he's probably a good catch, and that's probably where some of that stems from. Cece just mentioned, or he's still messing with them. I don't know. I think if you were with someone for 3 years, she would know if there was something going on.
It
I
seems
would,
like
I would
maybe
think
not.
so. But what I'm confused
If
about,
he's super smooth, he might be super good at hiding it.
I hope not. But what I'm confused about is she mentioned that she's in a small town, so it's like as if it's typical that people date in the way that they're dating.
Yeah.
So then it makes me question why the family wouldn't be receptive of it. It might not be as normal as, she's thinking, because otherwise they would be okay with it. Because it's like, oh, we're small town folks. This is what we do.
Yeah.
Maybe not in
So
their small
I'm
town.
wondering, and this is a question for her, like, I wonder if it's the issue that she dated the brother, or if they just don't
like her.
care for her.
Yeah.
And the only way that she would know is if she was getting the same energy when she was dating Carl as well.
But she said with Carl, she was introduced.
I know
to
she was
his
introduced,
kid.
but she didn't say they were hanging out
That's
and
true.
haha kikiing and spending
That's
holidays
true.
together.
That's an assumption that I did make from reading, that
Yeah.
they were cool with her before.
I wonder about that.
And they're not cool with her now because she is.
dating, the
Dating
other
Brian.
Yes.
She done swap.
She done swipped. She done
Swapped 'em
swipped them out. Yeah. So yeah, it seems like there is a few layers here that is making this difficult. So yeah. I don't know, y'all.
I think this is hard because they started off in a place where this wasn't supposed to be anything serious because of the dynamic.
Yeah.
And now we're 3 years in. You're 31 years old.
Now that's another
Like,
thing that's not okay.
Yeah.
It's time.
Yeah.
It's not been like 3 months.
Like,
It's been 3
where's the
years.
actual
She's not
commitment?
21. She's 31.
Yeah.
Um,
And he has kids, so he ain't worried about kids.
that's what I'm saying.
But you're the
so
one
now
wanting to
it's
start a
my
family.
thing is to be like, what do you want?
Yeah.
What
and
do you
does he
want?
fit with that?
And I think that's why she's asking us.
Yeah.
Can love get her through this? I don't know. What do you guys think?
I always think that's
mean,
such a silly idea.
Yeah.
Because,
me
I mean-
too. and also I think like sometimes women can create this like fairy tale in their head of like where they think that their relationship is, as opposed to where it really is. So like sometimes women think that the relationship is in a better state than what it actually is, right? So like oh, we love each other so much. Like he tells me that he like loves me dearly. Well, if he tells you that he loves you dearly, like why is he not meeting certain expectations? Why is he not catering to your expectation? Hope. If you're setting this expectation to him of, taking you on some type of trip, of bringing you around his family and kind of forcing that dynamic of, this is my lady and like I want her around for like the long haul. So you guys have to respect that, respect me and respect her in what we're doing now. It's like, I don't know, like I have some, I kind of have some pushback about like, can like love like take us, to the next stage, because like I don't know, we're kind of like we have some gaps in the current stages that
it's
we're
like, what
in.
I agree.
What is
that-
identifying love?
That's what I'm saying. To me, that statement, just don't, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around that statement, because to me, love isn't a strong feeling. Love is a decision that you make to be with an imperfect person.
Absolutely.
It's a judgment you make. It's a commitment you make. It's not just a strong
It's not a feeling.
That's what I'm saying. So to me, what you're saying to me is you're hinging this on this feeling, these strong feelings you have, but you're not thinking about the bigger picture here. And it sounds like if you decide that you're going to love this person and be with this person, you've accepted what you wanted out of your relationship moving forward. You've accepted you're okay with the baggage that comes with this relationship, because he must be worth it. So that brings me to my next question. Is he worth it? What has he done to make it? I don't think she wrote enough about that.
Yeah, besides not cheat, because what's the difference between him and Carl at this point?
That's what I'm saying. But I think the part about the vacation thing is bothering her, because it shows that he's able to do the things that she wants to do. He's just not doing it with her.
Yeah.
So if you make that decision to love someone in that way, you're accepting that he's like this.
Yeah. And then also, you know, we talk about this all the time. It's like, sis, if you're at a certain stage in your life that you want to go to the next level, how are you communicating your desires, your expectations, and your needs to your man?
Yeah.
Are you communicating to him, hey, babe, like, we've been together for 3 years and we haven't gone on a vacation. Like, I want to go here for my birthday. Like, can you set that up? So, like, for instance, men are not mind readers, okay? So I know that a lot of us women feel like, oh, well, my man should just know, okay? Men are stupid and they need to be told, or they need to be guided towards your expectations, or else they're gonna go unmet, and then there's going to be some resentment. So, and I'll give you an example of this. My 32nd birthday is coming up, and my husband heard me say either on our podcast or recently that he's not a good gift giver.
Oh, Shane.
He was kind of like taken back at that a little bit. He was like, "Wow, damn! I thought I was killing it.
Sorry,
and
Shane.
Apparently, I'm not." And so. Just yesterday, as a matter of fact, we had a conversation. He's like, "Okay, baby, can I talk to you about something like really serious for a moment?" And I'm like, "Okay, what's up?" Like, I have no idea what he was about to say. He's like, "I've been stirring around with this for like 3 days now, and I just want to ask you." He was like, "I was gonna ask Bree and I was gonna ask Angela, but then I was like, you know what? Let me just ask her."
What do you want?
Like, what do you want for your birthday? Because you told me, or you mentioned it, that I'm not a good gift giver, and I don't want your expectations to go unmet, because I want to make you happy, and I want to make sure that, like, I'm doing it in a way that you feel like your love language is being met. So, like, what does that look like?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Shane, like, you know, like, just even the fact that he's conscious enough to ask me, because he's listening. Like he heard me say, like, Shane's not good at giving gifts. Like, he didn't just like hear him and be like, yeah, all right, I'm good. He's like, oh shit, my wife. Like there's an expectation that I'm not meeting for my wife. So how can I do better with that?
Yeah.
Right. So we talked about it.
I want to know what you said.
Well, I gave him some examples. He's like, well, you know, I know you've been talking about, like, you want a Chanel bag. So he's like, but, you know, I don't know if, like, right now is like the right time to, like, spend like $8,000 like on a bag. I feel like we could, like, use that, like, towards an investment. And I was like, babe, like, material shit is nice. Like, I love it. Trust me, if you want to get it, I'm not going to tell you no.
You want a trip, don't you?
But I told him, I was like, but, you know, right now, I don't think that just, like, purchasing, like, Chanel bags is, like, right for us, because we're in where we're at right now as far as our investments is, like, we want to pay all of our money into real estate, right? So it's like, why, like, spend like $10,000 on that when we can just keep, you know, building that pile up and to be able to buy another property.
Yeah.
So I was like, instead, just spend it on an experience. And so, like, I was like, we can do an experience. Like, so we're gonna go to the West Coast for my birthday, to go see family, because both our sides of our family live in LA, and his parents live in Palm Springs. So we're gonna go over there. I was like, just spend it on an experience. Like, we could go to like a very like specialized spa, like a very niche spa that like does some type of weird, or unique thing. Like we could do
Weird.
like, not weird, like unique thing,
Something
right?
that you'll remember.
Right. Sometime that I'll remember. Thank you. So he thought of the idea of, so there's a place just like a few hours away from San Diego called Temecula, and
I've heard of this.
it's like a wine country,
yeah.
and like they have like hot air balloons, like you can like go in the hot air balloon
seen
and
this on
kind of like
Instagram.
go over
Yep.
like the vineyards and everything. So he was like, well, what about that? I was like, that's great, Shane. Like
Good
your
job.
wheels are
Good
turning.
job,
So
Shane.
now he's gonna forever get experiences.
Right. And then I was like, something like that, or skydiving.
Yeah.
I was like, or even like, if you do get me a gift, like a Chanel, like, because I'm not gonna say no to it also, but because it was like, well, I could spend $7,000 if you want me to. I was like, I mean, no, but
No. Yes. Don't listen to me, but listen to me.
no. So I was like, but like, if you did give me a gift, like, make it cute. Like, so, and I gave him an example of a scavenger hunt. And so he's like, okay, for the next 3 years, you're gonna get all the fucking scavenger hunts. I'm gonna send you on so many scavenger hunts. And I'm like, okay, Shane, like you're going a little, you're taking it too literal. But like, I was like, just think a little bit deeper and like make it cute in some
Thoughtful.
way. So I was
Right.
like, make it an experience. If you do give me a gift, make it thoughtful. Don't just like hand me a gift. Like, cause like before, when I asked for Chanel last year, I was like, you know what? No, instead I want that money for investments. I wanted to buy some specific stocks with it. He just handed me the cash. Well, he didn't even hand me the cash. He just Venmoed me the cash. Like, I was like, well, that was very underwhelming. Like, and like, I'm grateful because like, I don't know how many girls are just getting like their husbands just like depositing like thousands and thousands of dollars to their account. Like, I don't think that that's a common thing, I guess, but it's like, make it cute. Like, at least be like,
put a bow on it.
Something like, and so
With a card.
Yeah. And
But
so,
improvement.
right.
He's hearing you.
He's hearing me. We talked about it. I gave him some very specific examples. I gave him like 5 examples of things he could do.
Yeah.
So, and he wrote them down.
Yeah.
So, but I will say, like, if your man isn't conscious enough to see that your needs are being unmet in a certain way,
Right. Yeah.
that says something to your love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's deeper than just a feeling. It's the actions of you
That's what
guys'
I'm saying.
day-to-day interaction and
Yeah.
relationship.
It's just not, that's when that part can love get us through. Like, is there real longevity in this? My answer is no. I don't think so. I
mean,
don't think
just
so.
the feeling of love.
Just
of
the
love
feeling
alone is no.
of love, no.
Yeah.
Because once you're married and you're dealing with the mother of his children, you are connected to her forever. I am connected to the mother of my husband's child forever.
Yeah.
And we acknowledge that, and we put in real work to have a good relationship. This sounds scary. This sounds like a life of stress. This sounds like,
Yeah.
if you want longevity with that, that's crazy. Then you got the crazy ex. Why is there a crazy ex? That's my question.
You know what this is almost giving? Girl, tell me if I'm right or wrong, because I could be wrong. But it seems like she likes the idea of Brian because he's smooth.
Because she
he's
said, that's what I'm saying. She said it twice.
Like
She
it's
likes the image of it.
the image of Brian, but actually what Brian's giving her is maybe not.
I think it might also be a little ego. And what I mean by that is it sucks that things didn't work out with Carl, but it was like even worse if she tried both brothers and it still didn't work out. And I think for me, if I was in that situation, it would almost be like I want to prove myself wrong, or I want to prove them wrong. You know what I mean? Like I want to show that like I'm this person worth like being with, even though your brother was with me. Like, so I think there might be a little bit of ego, and that's, I mean, we're human. So I think that is natural to be like, I think a lot of us, we stay in situations longer than we should because of the idea of letting our ego go, or being able to have other people look and be like, wow, she failed, or that didn't work, or whatever.
I think
so I think it could be a little bit of that.
Dating brothers, like it's hard.
I mean, just in general. But like, what I would say to her is, at 31, like, let that shit go. Your man is out there.
You say I don't think it's Carl. Say the thing you always say.
If it's not this man, you're one man closer to the one who is. And so what I would say is, at 31, stop wasting your time and leave the situation. Understand that you are more than enough. You need to find somebody who is on your level, who wants the same things that you want, and who wants it when you want it. Because Brian already has the thing that you want, the family, the trips, the and when I say family, not just his family, but he also has his own children. And he sounds like he's somebody who the drama and all that stuff kind of follows, because he maybe is a little too smooth. And so why not find you someone who is looking for what you're bringing to the table versus just having that connection, and then because time has gone on, now you're questioning whether or not to leave, when in reality what you're really asking is, can we find anything in this thing that you wrote that should mean that you should stay? And I don't think we have.
No, like, I just, because you can hear her thoughts, you can hear it all in this, and it sounds like she wants to blame it on the brother situation, and she wants to blame it on the baby mama and this and that, and that's not it. It's just that he's not the guy.
Love does not make excuses.
Love does not make excuses.
And what I will say is, it doesn't matter what the dynamic or situation is. If this man really loved you, he would be loving and choosing you, and you would have no doubt in your mind.
And he would be loving and choosing you and setting his family straight at the same time. He'd be setting the baby mama straight. He'd be setting the crazy ex straight. He would be setting the friend straight as he's whisking you off to Jamaica. Like it shouldn't be all these questions in your head, because that's not love. That's not love. And I also I've said this before on previous episode. Time wasted takes you off the market. You're 31. You want this life. You really, she said, I want start the next chapter of my life. And I'm not saying, oh, it's too late for you to have kids and do all of that. But another year with Brian, you're 32. Another year after that, you're 33. And then at that point, you've been in 5 years because you didn't follow our advice. When exactly what Bree said, there is someone out there for you. And I don't care how small the town is. Girl, there's Hinge, there's the internet. If the man loves you, he'll move to your town, or you'll move to this.
And that's what I'm saying. I was gonna say, I don't know what her situation is, but if you are doing something like job wise where you can kind of be wherever you want to be, why not just move? Why not try? Sounds like
you don't have kids, so you're more flexible.
Make the change, because I will say, moving changed my life for the better. I would not be who I am, where I am, if I did not make the decision to move. Sometimes you got to get uncomfortable to really create the life you want. And I think, take that chance, girl. Pick up, move, go, see what happens.
Growth happens in uncomfortable situations. If you don't put yourself in the uncomfortable situation, you're not going to grow, and you're not going to be able to start this chapter that you want. And I personally don't think Brian and his family and all the things that come with Brian is it, because it sounds like you're doubting it, and there's a reason why you're doubting it.
Listen to that gut.
It's kind of obvious, and like the layers you're putting on it, you want us to kind of sort them out for you, and I just don't even think it's that. Like, it's not, he's not it. That's because that's not love. The sex and all of that stuff, that's fun.
You can do that with anyone.
That's where I'm getting at. You can have love for a lot of people, but to love somebody is a decision to commit to an imperfect person. And it's a promise to them that that you have no idea how it's gonna end up, but you trust that your decision is with someone that will protect that vulnerability. And I don't think Brian's the person who's gonna do it. So I'm sorry, sis.
Yeah, because 3 years is way too long for the family not to come around. Like, I can understand year one. But also, if he was serious about her, I think the answer would be to put a ring on that so that at least they knew that he was actually like, this is a long-term thing. I'm going to make this person my wife.
Because you said in your family, like everybody eventually.
Because I mean, once you get married, it's like, well,
she here now.
We don't like it, but
we want to have fun together. We're family. We're going to make it work.
Yeah,
that's how it goes. So, I'm sorry, good sis. But like Bree said, the next one, you're one man closer to the right one, and it sounds like you really want this life, so you got to start doing it. I'm not saying you're old, because you're not. You're young,
but we know how our age works as women.
We know how it goes.
You guys, what's a really good city that you think you can find love in?
Ooh,
I mean, I've had friends move to Texas for love because there was a article that came out that said Austin was the place. No, they came back. Florida.
Texas ain't it?
At one point, you guys remember, I was considering moving to Vegas, and I met a girl who I kind of hooked up with, and we talked about what the teacher scene was out there. And she's like, "Where are you from?" I was like, "I'm from the DC area." She's like, "Oh my God, I've considered moving there because there's no men out here in Vegas." I said, "Girl,
they ain't out here."
I just don't think there's men anywhere.
I used to say that. I seriously used to say that my man is not in DC for me.
Yeah.
Because I was very much so in the DC scene, and I was like, oh, he ain't here.
Right.
Little did I know he was here, but I was in the wrong scene.
That's what I'm saying.
So I think, like, even though, like, yes, you may be in a small town, but maybe there's a whole different scene in your town that you don't even know exists. So maybe you need to actually,
probably not if it's small, but
well,
maybe like the next town over.
I'm not from a small town, but
I know. I wish you would have said what town.
I know,
but then she probably didn't want to give away too much. Because we got Carl and Brian
are not watching the show.
They're not. But girl, I challenge you, like we said, like maybe just
make
explore
a change.
some other options. That you never know what type of blessings come out of your being uncomfortable, you know, like, and you owe it to yourself to realize a life that you've always dreamt of, right? So if you dream of having a life of being a wife and a mother, and right now your current situation isn't looking like it's going to provide that, then I highly encourage you to get out of it sooner than later, and then try to shake it up a little bit so that maybe something else fruitful can come from another opportunity or experience.
And I think a lot of women, especially with time invested, they will overlook all of the layers that we're talking about for an image.
The cons list would be this long. The pro list,
right?
This big.
But we've been together 3 years,
right.
and we love each other, and we both want to get married, and there's this image of kids. Sis, I was there too, right?
Does he want to get married?
I mean, it's not aligned. It's not there.
3 years at 31 is way too long to be with somebody without at least an understanding of a proposal.
How long were you and Sean together before you guys got engaged?
A year and a half.
A year and a half.
I was with Shane for a year and a half.
Like, honestly.
How old were you guys?
30.
25.
I was 30, and then Shane was 36. We didn't get together until we were a little bit older.
So. Yeah, but 25, we met. We talked the talking phase for like 3 months. Dated for a year and a half. Proposed. Engaged for a year and a half. Married. The only quick thing was we got pregnant 4 months in after marriage.
Well, I got pregnant before I got engaged too.
Meanwhile, I'm over here with Shane looking for rings and stuff, and Cece texts me. I'm like,
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm like, Shane, we got to tell her something because I don't want her to think that you proposed because of this. We were planning it. We were planning it already.
So,
But yeah, I think when a man knows, he knows.
Yeah, for sure. And it don't take 3 years to know.
Unfortunately,
So
I
No.
agree with you.
no.
as sad as, and he knew you technically for 2 years before that.
Right.
So it's now 5 years he's had you in his life and he doesn't know still. Bye. What, Carl? No. Brian. Bye, Brian.
Well, I
And
hope
Carl.
this.
Right.
Bye.
Bye, family.
See y'all later.
I'm going to new family.
You're moving to DC. No.
It's a little expensive here.
Anywhere. Move anywhere.
Right.
No, but hopefully this helps. And, you know, we love what we have noticed is lately when we've been responding to the write-ins, the girls are sliding in our DMs and letting us know who they are and then like telling us, you know, like what they
Follow
got
up.
from it or even following up with more details. So we always love that. So if you want to slide in our DMs and, you know, let us know what you decide, we would love to hear.
And we try to respond back. We're like, girl.
Even if you don't agree, like I know I'm probably like the I don't know, I probably say some off the wall stuff sometimes.
But
like,
I mean,
even if you don't agree with me, just be like, you know, I heard you. I don't really agree with you. Like I am all for. I'm very open minded. So like if you feel like you don't agree with something I say, tell me, and we can have a conversation about it.
It's for the girls.
Yeah.
It's
Yes,
girl
ma'am.
talk. That's where it originated from. We would sit here and talk,
Right.
and then was it your idea or Dre's idea? Where it's like, damn, Bree, we should just do it on the camera.
Yeah.
So and bring you guys into our conversation. So.
Yeah. So thank you guys so much again for continuing to write in. We love sharing our advice. If you have a scenario that you want us to talk about, go to relationshiprestored.com, click on For the Girls, and the form is called Help a Girl Out. Follow us on Instagram at Angela Hannah, at Cece Costin, at Brianna Ponte, and of course at Relationship Restored. And until next time,
Ta-ta.